video, I'll show you how to set up and manage live streams.
All right. Hey, Rod. E. Spears. R. Doothwaite. Let me mute this 1 second. Woodward Fab at Harbor Freight or somewhere else? Hey, Bob, how are you? Summit, okay. Summit Racing, yeah. Well, this is the giveaway knife here that I have. I got the walnut handles on with the bird's eye maple liners, and yeah, I'll probably shape these handles up today. And this is the live stream knife here that I've got the handles epoxied on, and today, this is what we'll do today, is shape these handles and get them sanded down real nice. And then I don't usually do this out here because it's so dusty, but hey, Darla. But I'm going to just put the first coat on out here because it takes several hours to dry. So I'll put this coat on out here and bring it to the house and do the rest of the coats. So here in a minute, we'll hang out a minute, and then we'll go to the belt grinder, and I'll start shaping this to the basic shape that I want. I started a few minutes early. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes before I get to doing anything. So if anybody wants to watch that, you know, just wait a minute or two. Oh, there, Chris. Barnyard Chicken. No, ma'am, you cannot put these in the dishwasher. These are not dishwasher safe. They're high carbon steel. And if you've ever seen an old hickory knife, or let's see, what other brand? Well, you can tell high carbon steel kitchen knives because they get this rusty, dark brown patina on them, and they're not meant for the kitchen. Hey, Phil. Yeah, we had a heck of a storm here, man. I'll tell you what, we didn't get it too bad where I'm at, but over there where Just Plain Common Sense is at, his area got it pretty bad. He's in the chat, and further over got it pretty bad. Hey, Ricky, good to see you. You made one. So, Ricky, did the storm pass through your way yet? Just missed you. What part of the world are you in, Barnyard Chicken? Oh, I'm in Texas. I'm in Wascom, Texas, over here past Marshall and Longview, out that way. Okay, I'm gonna drag you over to the belt grinder here, and when I turn the belt grinder on, it's a little bit loud, but it is definitely going to vibrate and make the picture really fuzzy and not very clear. There's nothing I can do about that, but It won't take me long to get the basic handle shaped on this, and we'll be back over here to this vise here pretty quick. Sunshine in mid-60s. My God, it was 30 this morning. It's been cold here. I got to put my mask on. Give me a second to get dressed. All right. All right, it's going to get loud here. Here we go. glasses on. Well, how shaky was that? Hey there, Hilltown. Teresa, Jim, from Hooks, huh? Way up there, Red River Army Depot. I used to haul stuff out of that Red River Army Depot up there. Okay, you're down near Humble. Well, I worked, my wife and I worked in Humble for 12 years. We hauled air freight out of the George Bush Airport there. Okay, let me get this in the vise, and I'm gonna have to move you again. I'll readjust it. Oh, I can? I didn't know I could do that. Your husband works where? At the George Bush Airport? Well, my wife and I used to work for Forward Air. We hauled air freight from George Bush to LA. Hello from Canada. Hey, David. Okay, I didn't know I could zoom this in. I just learned something new. All right, I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit. Finally starting to warm up. The sun is on this building now. Okay. Is that too close to it? You zoomed in too far? All right, I got to get my my die grinder here, and I'm going to rub these grind lines off going this way. So it's going to be a little bit noisy. See if I can do it this way. Is hand sanding. Well, I missed some. I got just a couple of little small lines right there I got to get out. sanding starts. 14 degrees, 12 inches of snow. Oh my God. And hey, Jesse. Bernie, good to see you. All right, let me start the sand here. And I start off with 180. And someone asked me in a comment on one of my videos, I think it was a video I uploaded last night and became public this morning, why I use my sandpaper this wide. Here's why. When I'm sanding the blade, when I'm sanding the grind lines out of the blade, I wrap my sandpaper around this, like this, and I rub the blade like this to rub the grind lines out. And if you get too far out, you start tilting your sanding stick one way or the other, and you start rounding edges off. So I make it just small enough where I can keep my fingers on it and not get my fingers on the steel, but have enough sanding area where I'm just not wasting my breath, you know. So if you get it too wide, you start tilting the stick one way or another, and you knock your edges round. But that was a good question. Now, all I'm doing now, I got it shaped to the basic shape I want. And now what I'm doing is first, I'm rubbing out all the sanding belt marks. And then, when I get all those out, I go back and low areas or high areas, I address those. Areas that have burn marks, because the belt always leaves some burn marks somewhere. And you have to sand them out. And I tell you, this is my favorite part of making the knife. I don't know why. I guess, I've said it before, it's sort of like how I would imagine that a potter feels when he has a lump of clay, and that lump of clay turns into something he likes just from his hands. And that's the way I feel about this wood. I keep doing it and keep rubbing it, and there's a connection between your hands and what you find aesthetically pleasing in your mind, and it's very, very satisfying. Which is why I go to, great lengths to make the handles sexy. And the way I do it is I do the bottom, then I flip it, and I do the top, and then I do the sides, because the sides take a lot more work. And I see something else I got to do. I've got a little mark here I got to rub out with that die grinder. Noise alert. I forgot something. I got to put my mask away, or else I'm going to get it covered in sawdust. The part that I don't want to have sawdust on it. What I do is I keep it in a big Ziploc baggie. And that keeps the dust out of it. cabinet. Okay. Oh. Hey, Tom. Jim, when I polish the blades, I use just sandpaper, and oh, you mean when I buff them on my buffer? Okay. I use, well, what do they call it? Polishing rouge. It's basically a wax. Hey there, my friend Pat, Billy, and Rachel are in the chat room. Greetings from around the corner, yep. Okay, that was you that, yeah, that asked me the question about the sandpaper. That was a good question, and I had to pause a minute to see how I was going to explain it. So, Jim, yeah, I polish my blades with Jeweler's Rouge, or a polishing compound. You can buy, well, Summit Racing. What is that? God, there's a big auto part supply online people that sell, that's all they sell is polishing compound. I forget the name, but they're very expensive, and I wouldn't order from them unless I had to. Okay, what I'm fixing to do here, these brass pins all have grind lines that go this way, and as I progress in sandpaper grit, I rub out these grind lines, and I'll keep doing it until all you see is shiny pins. You have to be careful, and you got to do it on a stick, or else you end up, if you do it with your hand, you end up sanding away wood that you don't want to sand away. I have learned a lot through trial and error, and I'm not giving advice or tips because I think I'm an expert. I'm just sharing the mistakes I've learned and the way I've learned around or to fix those mistakes or to not make those mistakes. So if you're following me, what you're following is a guy who's learning by doing and making a lot of mistakes and learning from those mistakes, which has been the fun part. Now, this knife is a perfect example. This is the second one that I used in my tumbler with the glass bead media. And first I tried the Scotch-Brite belt, and I realized that what I was doing was leaving these huge voids between the handle and the metal because the Scotch-Brite belt was rounding off the edges, so it looked like there was a gap. So I realized I was going to have to stay ahead of the handle with the Scotch-Brite belt. And then, I did Scotch-Brite belt on this, and I acid bathed it, acid etched it, and tumbled it. And for some reason, the Scotch-Brite belt and the acid etch and the tumbling, it did not have a good finish. So I sanded it all back down, and I put it on the Scotch-Brite belt again, and I put it in the tumbler with glass beads for about 6 hours. So every time I try something new, I learn from the mistakes I've made, and I adjust what I do and try to make the next thing work a little better. And it has truly been a very interesting process. And here's something I told my wife yesterday. I realized that people who want to buy my knives are eventually going to have a knife. So I'm eventually going to run out of people that want them. And when that happens, what I'm going to do then is it might take me a month, but I'm going to make knives that are museum quality, and it might take me a month to make one. But that's my goal. And leather, I know how to do stuff. I just need to make my hands do it well. It is actually hot in here. I may have to open up my back door. There's going to be some pretty wood. I've already forgot what kind it was. It had a name wrote on it. I had to go back and look at it online on the video. Eastwood, that's it. That's it. They learned a lot from my mistakes. Well, I'm glad I could be of help. I would imagine that camera's jumping around with me sanding because this floor isn't, I'm about 3 feet off the ground over here on this end of the shop. I'm on a hill, the side of a hill, and this shop that I'm in used to be about 3 foot taller. It used to be about 6 foot off the ground on this end of the shop. And then the lady that used to live here, maybe I'll remember her, Miss Pat. She showed up in a couple of my videos. This was the last day she drove. She ran into this building and knocked it off its blocks. And so they just raised it up a little bit. And I'm about 3 foot off the ground right here. This used to be their office / dining room. All right, one more sanding on this side, and then I'll move to the next grade. Okay, I'm going to the next grade. Be right back. Got to get my other sandpaper. $400, $320, $220. Oh yeah, I wish I had a little coffee. Coffee and dog sounds good. All right. First thing I'm gonna do is rub the 180 grits out of these pins. I used to sand these with my bare hands, I mean without gloves, you know, because I could feel the wood better. But after a couple of months of doing that, I had no fingerprints left on my hands. And, you know, when I rob a bank, I want them to know who did it. So I started wearing gloves. Hey there, Q Fruget. Ansel High Flex for 11,600 gloves over there. Yeah. Okay, Tom, thanks for stopping by. Okay, let me put these away before I forget what grade they are. Now I'm going to go up to 220. I mean 320. Sorry, this is 320. And this stuff here, this is the best sandpaper I have ever had. I've tried a lot. And here's some 3M, and it's okay, but it doesn't last as long as this. And this is Rhino, Redline Rhino Wet. And it's a little expensive, but it lasts longer. Just like blades for my bandsaw. They make cheap blades that don't work, and they make expensive blades. And it's better to not have them than buy the cheap blades. And I have cheap blades, and I'm going to have to order some good blades. Another thing I've learned, don't buy cheap blades. There's another tip I've learned. I'm going to tell you right now. And I learned this the hard way. When you're sanding this on the belt sander, stop way before you come to the point you want to end up. Because if you sand this on the belt sander to the point you want the handle to be, you've gone too far. Because look at all the grades of sandpaper you got to go through to get it to this. So I've learned that. I've had a couple of really skinny handles come out of here because I went too far on the belt sander. I like the feel and the looks of this. All right, I'm going to 400 now. Okay, let me look at what I got going on there. Hey there, I'm your Huckleberry. I'm going to blow on the viewfinder here. I got dust on it. 1 second. Okay. All right, this is 400. And this is as high as I'm going to go on this. I'm your Huckleberry. Did them storms get you the other day? We had one tornado that did a lot of damage, thousands of trees down, and at one point the tornado was 300 yards wide. It didn't hit here where I'm at. It hit over in Bossier Parish and south of Barksdale Air Force Base, and tore houses up over there. A couple of mobile homes, killed some people. But I'd still rather live with tornadoes than cold weather or snow. Yeah, just missed you, huh? Oh yeah, you're in Shreveport, right? South Shreveport, I guess. Yeah, Barnyard Chicken, Indasa, Red Line, Rhinoet, Sanding Sheets. Those are the ones. Yep. Okay. I'll get you moved over a little bit. Here's what I use: True Oil, and I've got it down now where I can get a glass-like finish starting about the fourth or fifth coat. I'll tell you what my process is, and again, I learned this just through trial and error. I put a pretty heavy coat on, first coat, and then I sand that down to 800, back down to the bare wood. And then I put a second coat on, again, heavy. And I sand that down with 1200. And this is what I use to put the True Oil on. These are makeup wedges. And I use these because they don't leave any lint at all. I tried cotton balls and they did a nice finish, but they left little bits of cotton. So here I go. And what I do, see, I forgot to put the finish on the front end of these handles before I glued them to the knife. So now what I gotta do is carefully take this paintbrush and put some on there. I've had a lot of coffee this morning. You know what? I am just going to have to cut this off of here. All right. Alrighty then. Big, clumsy, goofy oaf. Alrighty. Steady hands. Otherwise, it looks like crap if you get it on the blade. I don't know how well you can see. Alright, there's one side. Alright. Now, where do you see what this wood's going to look like with some true oil on it? On the first coat, it really sucks it up. That's going to be some pretty handles right there. Now what I do is just keep on rubbing this in with this wedge, and when it stops absorbing it, then I stop putting it on. I got a spill, I got a dribble, there we go. Okay. For now, I'm just gonna put this in the vise, but I have a place in my house that I normally put these. Oh, come on. Because it's dusty out here. I see a dribble. Okay. Okay, y'all. That's all I can do. This is going to take this probably 10 or 11 hours to dry. So next week we'll make a sheath for it. Hold on. Next week we'll make a sheath. I'll do that in here instead of my leather room because I don't get Wi-Fi in there. So how long have we been doing this now? 54 minutes. Wow. I'll tell you what, I've timed these pretty good just by accident. They all seem to be just about an hour long. Hey, Johnny Solar, Lee Weaver. I miss anybody? HNX. Yeah, you're here late. You're tardy. Okay, y'all, if you want to watch me make a sheet for this, I'll see you next Sunday. In the meantime, I'll probably put 4 or 5 coats on this. Let me, am I still on? Yeah, okay. There's a delay. So, I'll see you next Sunday. Thanks for stopping in. And when you see this next, it'll look like glass. Bye, y'all.